Hey, what is going on, crypto people? 500,000 FXRP just got minted on Songbird in less than 24 hours with no incentives, no bribes, just demand. That was FSS version 1.1. And now the real show begins because mainnet is coming. In this live stream, I'm going to break down what this rollout tells us about the FXRP adoption, why Flare's DeFi ecosystem is about to go vertical, in my opinion, and why this might be the moment XRP finally becomes the programmable, composable, and yield generating asset at scale. Let's get into it, fam. Let's get into it. This is cray in the streets right now. I just got to tell you, it's crazy in the streets, Pookie. This freaking internet over here is a problem. Like hours. This thing, you're getting on the phone. They got no answers. It's brutal in the streets here. It's brutal. Look, I'm blessed. We're blessed. But man, oh man, there's something with this internet. It's been over an hour. Been over an hour. One little live stream. At first, I thought it was YouTube, man. First, thought it was YouTube. I'm like asking little Miss Crypto Seeds, you got Wi-Fi? You on this? And then look at my phone. Can't send messages. How do I have Wi-Fi, but I can't send a text message? I'm confused. Crazy. I'm going to say it. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But I can just tell you this carrier. Not great, man. Not great. But anyway, we're going to celebrate this for the networks news. This is massive. We got a guy of mine as well sharing some tidbits. We got Flare community. We got Flare networks. This is demand. Because like I said in the live stream last night when we went over the ecosystem and the incentives, no incentive. There's no mending redeeming like it was last time. There was no incentive to do that. It's just demand and the willingness to participate. So I got to say shout out to the XRP holders for willing to participate here. You know how I get on the XRP holders sometimes. You know how I get on them sometimes. You know how I get on them. But that's big time demand right there. It'd be interesting to see if we, how many of these were institutional players in the background participating. That would be interesting to see for sure. Right? But yeah, that's some big time stuff there. Of course, you got some people not happy. Dark Horse not happy. That dude. The second anyone from Ripple makes a post, he's all over him. He had a post about this particular thing that we're doing with Songbird. Just not happy. But in any case, it is what it is. The market family is doing what the market does. I'm going to refresh coin Gecko, make sure we get the right numbers. But yeah, BTC is in a range move. It's in a range now, right? 100 to 104,000 in that range. It's ranging, right? So we'll go over those numbers. I got a few posts on X that I want to share with you guys as well. Happy Talk That Talk Thursday. How about that? Happy Talk That Talk Thursday. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way in. That'd be really, really awesome. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. Record numbers coming out from Flare Networks. Really, really excited. And again, this is version 1.1, and it's not on mainnet. It's on the Canary Network, Flare Networks Canary Network, which is called Songbird. Brother Crypto's in the building. What's going on, bro? Life is good. Life is good, right? So we're going to get into it. Flare Community says something in this video I watched today, big time community ad, or value add to the Flare community. He said in his video, Pookie, that when you provide collateral, so you can mint, right? You need a certain amount of Songbird to mint, but then you can provide collateral in these quote unquote community pools, right? And he is saying that depending upon what you mint, if you mint FXRP and you're providing collateral, you get FXRP is part of the rewards. Did you guys see that video? I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I hope I'm understanding that correctly, but he was saying you get an FXRP in rewards, not just RFLR. This is collateral, not for minting or redeeming. Collateral. For providing Songbird collateral. This is what he's saying. So I don't know. We're gonna do some today. We're gonna walk you through some guys. We're gonna mint. Should I redeem? Let's redeem some XRP. Should I redeem? Or should I mint another batch? I'll mint another batch. I don't have to really explain how to redeem, right? You should just, should I? I don't know. You guys let me know if you want me to see me redeem. I think most people want to see us mint and provide collateral. You know what I mean? So I'm probably going to do that. Appreciate you guys checking in for sure. That's right. Wait about when that Bitcoin liquidity gets here. So let's get into let's go over these numbers, and then we're going to share some posts from Flare Community, from Minus Wells. Big time stuff, man. Big time stuff. Again, why you always come out Flare? Because I believe they are further along in providing value to XRP holders. That's why. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I talk so much. And that's one of the main reasons. One of the main reasons. All right. I love the Flare ecosystem, what they got going on. Love the DApps going on in there. Love the vision and where they're going and what they're building out. 100%. But they're starting with F assets and they're starting with XRP. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that in a big time way. All right, so let's go over CoinGecko, go over these numbers real quick. If you can stomach it, I'll go over these numbers real quick. Yeah, go over these numbers. Bitcoin's ranging. You could just end it right there. Bitcoin's ranging between 100K and 104K. All right, so according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is down 3%. Oh, I didn't know that. It's down 3%. It's interesting that the total market cap is down, but Bitcoin is still at 103,000. In any case, total cryptocurrency market cap is at 3.43 trillion. Let's go over to the live Bitcoin dominance thing and tracker and see what's going on. This is live. 63%. Okay. Got out of that 61 and 62% thing. So I think it gets closer to 68, 60, 66, 68%. And I think that's when we start to see the altcoins begin to do that push. So the dominance is at 63.18%. Bitcoin is trading at $669 again. On the 30-day, Bitcoin is up 23%. Ethereum is up 59% on the 30-day and is trading at $2,500. I got a little bit of ETH, that not much. XRP is up 15% on the 30-day, is trading at $2.43. Solana is up 32.5% on the 30-day, right? We want to check the trends, not 24 hours. And Solana's trading at 106, might as well say $170 again. Dogecoin is up 42% on the 30-day and is trading at 22 cents. I got to tell you, the swing traders, loving this stuff. I bet you the good ones are just making all kind of bank, the professionals, those swing traders making all kind of bucks. If it's up 40% at one time, it was down 40%, right? If it's up 32% or 59% at one time, it was down 59%. Swing traders are loving it because you can short, you can do all kind of stuff if you're in that space. Not my game. So we is trading at $3.89. It's under $4. It went back under 4. No worries. And it's up 83% on the 83% on the 30-day. The professional traders, I'm telling you, they love this crypto market. But that is the market, fam, and it is doing what the market does. Let me see which ones I want to share. Not the frequently asked questions. We did that last night. All right, so here it is. The FSS version 1.1 rollout on Songbird spoke volumes. We just saw what scaling looks like. Almost 500,000 FXRP minted in under 24 hours. with zero incentives for minting or redeeming. This is active participation. You guys should be given participating. Active participation. Now imagine this on Flare mainnet. Up uncapped minting, full composability, a growing suite of DeFi products, swapping, lending, staking, trading, perps, all on a rapidly expanding, let me go over here, a rapidly expanding DeFi ecosystem that just saw 185% TVL growth in under a month. How about that? How about that? How about freaking that? I love it. Out of 58 billion XRP in circulation, how much will end up on Flare networks? You will soon find out. I freaking love it, man. I love it. I said bullish AF, man. Bullish. Ah, absolutely love it. Let me see. Was this something else I want to share? Hugo made a statement, said this morning, no FXRP lots were available for minting on Songbird. Tonight, the supply of XRP on Songbird has already 3x. That's from earlier. That was really, really cool. Let me get rid of that one. Might as well share something that I thought was pretty cool as well. Pretty cool. In less than a day, we have $3.27 million in collateral. 329 million Songbird. And 656,000 in USDX. Pretty cool. 656,000 and USDX. You know, there's some stuff with the USDX. It's not necessarily accessible to retail. You got to kind of have to do some stuff over there to get the CUSDX and you know, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty good. It's good to see a fair amount of USDX, says Minus, as collateral, as it mitigates market volatility, slant risk for collateral providers. Yep. What's more bullish is to see how much Songbird is locked away. Now imagine years of the accumulation of F assets on Flare after Bitcoin gets introduced. Couldn't agree more, bro. Could not agree with you more. This is again a celebration because it takes participation. It takes people actively participating in the ecosystem. So I'm really, really excited about that. What's going on, co-creator Rod? Aloha. Aloha, brother CJ. What say you about this Flare Network money maker? Great things rolling out. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it, bro. That's right, co-creator Rod. Hit them likes, fam. The like button. Appreciate that. And if you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in, no worries. Just collapse the chat. Go smash the like real quick. And then come back and hang out with the Crypto Season family. Brother Crypto says the Dogecoin devs were pitching DeFi for Doge a while back. It never happened. Now comes Flare. CJ, we are on the winning team. I agree. What's going on, Devon, Steve? That's right. We asked in the stream a number of times, what's going to be the participation from the Bitcoin community, from the Doge community? What's going to be that participation? What is that going to look like, from those guys? It's going to be interesting to see. I got to tell you that. I don't have any Doge. It's going to be interesting to see what that is going to look like. It's going to be interesting to see. I was doing some research and stuff, and the FLR token, if this cycle goes to Q1 of 2026, what's that's going to look like, right? So we're talking mainnet stuff on Flare. Mainnet is going to happen by late summer, late summer. So we got to just, we got to take the latest month in summer is August. So July, August, somewhere, right? So we're going to get the version on mainnet, and I believe that will be 1.1 on mainnet for F assets. What is that going to look like, for the FLR token and collateral and the whole 9 yards, blah, 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 blah. What is that going to look like 30, 60 days after that, 90 days after that for the FLR price? What's that demand going to look like? It's going to be very, very interesting to see, because I just think about the Songbird numbers. Think about the Songbird numbers in 24 hours. So it's going to be interesting to see. This providing collateral is a form of locking up the SGB token. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see. I haven't looked at Songbird's price and what it's done in 24 hours. I'm not going to do that. I want to see what it's going to look like in 30 days, maybe 2 weeks, 30 days, see what happens there. So yeah, I mean, big time participation, right? And just remember, the Flare community is made up of a lot of XRP holders. Unfortunately, there's a great divide in the XRP community. And it's really, really sad that this happened. Someone came in here and just divided up the community. It's sad that did happen. But a big part of the Flare community is XRP holders. This is without question. So being able to use that XRP is going to be really, really cool. But again, I'm gonna share Flare community's kind of walkthrough on how to mint and redeem. So I did that. I did post that. I'm gonna and just listen to what he says, because he does say, for providing Songbird collateral, you're earning FXRP in addition to our FLR rewards. Now, I didn't know that. So let me find this video before I share screen. Save you guys. All right, let me find, geez. Can I, yeah, let me do that. I think that was actually, it was on the Flare Networks channel, but it was actually Flare community who did it. I don't know if he's working with them or whatever, but let's see. If I can't find it this way, I will just go to my history. Yeah. All right, Flare Networks channel. No, this is not it. That's not it. That's something different. It was on his deal there. So it was on his channel. Okay. All right. Let's go here.
I hope you're all well and having an incredible day as always. And yes, a very exciting week for the Flare community. We have FXRP now live on the Songbird network, and this is through F Assets version 1.1, which is an upgrade from the very first version. Lots of exciting things to do and some new possibilities. And if you're yet to subscribe here, please do feel free to do so, because I'm going to be creating a short series of videos talking about how you can participate in the F asset system and earn some yield on your FXRP. This is just the introductory video, talking you about an option where you can provide collateral over here on the F asset dashboard. That's what we're going to be doing today. And you can actually get some rewards from this. So we look here on the official announcements. This is ecosystem and incentives from this page here. F Assets version 1.1 launches on Songbird, unlocking scalable FXRP minting. So let's quickly jump here because there is something that I do want to bring to your attention. Talking about incentives here, like capacity deployments, given the improved capital efficiency and the plan for long-term deployment of FXRP on Songbird, no incentives are planned for redemption. And redemption is just a small part in this much bigger puzzle. They do go on to say, however, the system will be supported by bi-weekly incentives for SGB collateral providers and FXRP liquidity providers, which will be distributed as RFLR rewards via the Flare portal. So SGB collateral providers, what does that mean? It means that you as a holder of SGB can provide collateral to certain pools and earn some of this RFLR by issue. So if we go back to the Flare portal here, this is what the F Assets dashboard, this is what the interface looks like on the landing page. And if you go to the home, this is what it looks like. And you've got various metrics about the current state of the F asset system, various amounts of TVL or total value locked, and you also have a list of these collateral pools where you can put your SGB and start earning some of them RFLR rewards in addition to some of the fees that these pool operators receive. So we're looking here and we're looking at the top performers and the top performing pools, as you can see. I'm going to use Oracle Daemon here for the example in this video, but of course you can select any one you like. First thing that we need to do is scroll up to the top and we need to go over here to pools. Give that a click. And if we scroll down, we're going to go to this pool here. We can see that it's healthy. There hasn't been any past liquidations, and it is, of course, online. Quite a high TVL. So I'm going to deposit into this by clicking the deposit button, as you would expect. And we're going to have an amount. The thing is here, you don't want to do the max amount because you're still going to need some SGB for the transaction. So for this example, we're going to do 1000 SGB. Click on next and wait for the confirmation here. Confirm that's through MetaMask. And all we have to do is give it a second. Hey presto, enter collateral pool. We've confirmed that. Click on OK. Now we have added to this collateral pool. What we can do is we can go to the home page and see our collateral position here. See that our position for the pool is $8.40 worth, or just under. You can also get an idea of your rewards. Again, this is going to be in FXRP or FDoge, depending on the activity of that particular pool.
Okay, so that's what he said. I don't know if maybe he's correct. I was not expecting that. He's going to go on to further say, in addition, you weren't to your RFLR rewards.
In addition to this, we also have the RFLR rewards that I did mention on this document. There has been a bit of speculation about this. This is just how I read it. Incentives for SGB collateral providers. We'll see. But that's exactly how you provide collateral in it.
So we did that last night. We showed you guys a little walkthrough with you guys on that last night as well. But I was not aware of that. I wasn't aware of the FXRP or FDoge rewards and providing collateral. I do remember having a conversation with Mickey B. Fresh. And one of the things he said, we're talking one-on-one, and he said that, being a collateral provider is going to be profitable in Flare networks, is what he, said. I remember distinctly him saying that. This is over a year ago. So anyway. Oh yeah, co-creative, right? Let's definitely hook up, bro. Pookies, I might have to grab more Flair. I hear you. Kiston says, go all in. What's going on, Kiston? How are you, bro? So that was said there. Now let me take a look over here at this thing here on Oracle Daemon. All right, so let me know if you guys need the link to this. And also I think it's important. Yeah, you guys should definitely be reading over this blog post about FSS version 1.1. So I'm going to put that in the chat so you guys have it, because sometimes I forget to put it in the description of the videos. So I'll put it there. So you guys have it. That's the blog. If you need the website for where you do your minting and redeeming, let me know. So all right, so let me refresh. I don't know if it matters. Songbird has gone down in price in the last 24 hours. I can tell you that. So, all right, so we're on the home page here. See, the position was 8,039 cents, just like Flare Communities was, because we did 1,000 Songbird as well yesterday. So the market's down, right? Songbird tokens down, XRP price is down as well, because we look over here at your F asset position. It's $24.30, and it was, I think, maybe that's closer to right. But definitely Songbird goes down because it was 8,039 cents. So just the market, that's just the market, right? F assets overview, 1.24 million. Available circulating supply, available to mint, up 625%. That's just nice to see. Available to mint, 22,871 lots are available left to mint or left to mint. Okay, so what we got here? Total pool rewards. Okay, so this says total pool rewards, and this does say FXRP and FDoge. Collateral pools, total pool rewards. 6.29 thousand in FXRP, 55,000 55.4 thousand in FDoge. So there that is. So that's interesting. So we're going to do some minting and redeeming as well. Let me welcome some more people to the stream. Core Vault. Now this Core Vault over here, you know, that's the bigger players over here. What we got going on here? What the freak? It's Core Vault. It's crazy. Inflow, outflow. Inflow 498,000. Outflow 37,000. Interesting. That's the Core Vault thing. That's the added addition to the F asset system. The added, you know, it's an addition to F assets. So that's interesting. So you got home, you got mint F assets. Then you go down here, you can mint FXRP, you can mint Doge. And I think when I do mint, I am going to mint take advantage of, if you're Songbird, if you're staking or delegating. I think that may be smart to do. What's going on, Rick Cisneros? They kind of team up. It's not financial advice, and I'm telling you what to do. Maybe it's wiser to, if you're delegating and you chose a particular person that you're delegating to or staking, if they're available, if they're part of that list for staking, for minting, maybe you want to do that. Maybe. All right, it's just, you know, just thinking out loud. Rick Cisneros says, CJ, just minted FXRP just to play around. Very nice, bro. Waiting for the mainnet to go live. I will put on big dollars when that happens. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Yeah, I'm just going to do small transactions throughout the week and month. just to kind of play around with it. Appreciate you guys checking in. Thanks for being here. Rick says no, I appreciate that. Guys, do me a favor. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, no worries. Just collapse the chat real quick. Go smash the like, come back and hang out in Crypto Season. Fam, let's mint. We're gonna mint another lot, whatever, and of XRP, and we're going to provide more collateral. So let's go here. All right. So again, anyone in the chat not have this site who needs it, website, so where you go to mint? I think everyone has it. All right, so let's go here. So you can mint assets. You can go down here and click mint FXRP, mint Doge. I love it. So the Doge participation right now, 290,000, 32,000. So I don't know. I guess it's okay. It's not as, it's not as prevalent for minting F Doge yet. Yeah, but those numbers will pick up, I think. So let me click this one. All right. So far I used this mint up top here in the middle. I did that, but let me do it from here. Then they got a mint FS there, and then they got it over here as well. Oh, can I do it? Don't. Oh yeah. Let me try that. So I'm going to click mint FXRP right here. These numbers are still the same. I feel like, does it make sense that the number of mints is the same, 22,000? I just feel like maybe, let me do this. I am going to do this. I'm going to stop share. I'm going to disconnect. And disconnect and then reconnect, then I'll share. Just seems, I don't know. Let's stop that. Let's refresh. I know 22,000, it could be 22,100. It hasn't get to 23,000. I get it. Number of agent vaults, 13, 2,000. Still says the same thing. All right, let me connect. I'm connect and then I'll share the screen again. I have not tried anything. Did we get a, okay. Connect. You get Songbird Network, XRP Ledger, and the Dogecoin Network when you connect your wallet. So it's connected there. Let me share the screen now. So I guess those are the numbers. I was going to make sure that we're up to date, kind of live type deal. And, to me, rewards earned to date, 22 cents for $8 is really, really, really good. So that's just my experience. I mean, it's not even $10. So, all right, so let's mint FXRP, click that button. All right, so I only have 5,283 Songbird left. So I am going to mint one lot. I'm gonna mint there. And we got to look at some stuff here. Okay, so the minting fee, 0.25% of the Songbird, I guess. 0.25% in Songbird you're gonna pay. You will send or transfer 10 XRP. Minting fee is 0.03 XRP. And reservation fee is an estimate of the Songbird at 15. It's an estimate. When you use your particular wallet, it'll give you the exact amount. That's just a guess, an estimate. So I'm going to hit next here. Ended up being 17.52 Songbird, which is 14 cents at current prices. Looking over everything, agent vault, executor, lots, confirm it. Close. All right, so Another mint, another 10 XRP at $24.26 currently. It says minting takes 2 steps and 5 minutes to complete. I wonder if that said that before. And 5 minutes to complete. Interesting. I don't remember it saying that, but yeah, I think I can exit out of here and it'll be fine. But there it is. That's how you mint. And yeah, I think I can. So there's that. And says here, you go scroll down to the latest transactions, it tells you it's in progress. Type mint 10 FXRP in progress. So it'll let us know when it's done there. Now let's provide some collateral. So let me go over here to pools real quick. Says your pools. Now, I deposited. All right, so let me think this through. Under your pools, this is who. I have to think this through here. This says Atlas. Yesterday we minted with the Oracle Daemon, but that's not showing. I wonder why that's not. Why would that not be showing? Because that's who we ended up minting with, I'm pretty sure. And we deposited collateral. So let me refresh. Yeah, so I'm wondering why it wouldn't show both. Because we did mint yesterday. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't see that there. Maybe you guys know, but it's not showing that. All right, so let me go to the home page. Says your pools here, so that's those. Your position, rather, not your position. That was from what we did yesterday. So the second lot hasn't showed up yet. It's going to take about, I think it's going to say 5 minutes or so for it to show up there. So here's the collateral pools. And you can hit view pools here and to kind of decide where, if you want to provide some Songbird as collateral, kind of where you would do it. A lot of people are on the TVL, and that's cool. Free lots and pool fees, 30%, 30%. You get to share in those, right? If you provide collateral. I'm trying to think here what we got going on. I mean, that's big TVLs right there, 800 and something thousand. And remember, you're getting a percentage. Like, I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to, I already did it with Oracle Daemon. I can provide collateral with North, so, and just kind of see how that goes. Where's Bifrost? Bifrost is 370, probably. Or do you just, work with some of the smaller ones? I guess you're going to get less if you're chasing some other thing. You would look just to the TVL and kind of do it that way, I guess. So I did that one. Let me go to the second one. In terms of TVL, this is the second one. Do 1,000 again. So I'm just doing 1,000. I'm not doing max, obviously, because you need at least 2 Songbird. So I'm going to do 1,000 there. It's roughly $8. By clicking confirm, you confirm collateral into an agent's collateral pool. Yep. Check mark. Assets added to your collateral pools. There it is. Then you hit OK. And that's it. There it is. Your position's now $16 as far as the pools. Let's go to mint. 10 and 10, 20. Yeah. So I had 75 XRP in here now. There's only 55. F assets, it says 20 FXRP. Yep. Right. Because one lot is 10. You go to home. Yeah, okay. Your asset position, 2 lots. That's the dollar value. And then there's your pools, 16 bucks. So there it is. It's really that simple to do it. Number of liquidations says 5. Yeah, interesting. All right, let me see here. Payment. No past liquidations. Everybody's online. You can view the pool there. So that's pretty cool. This is simple as that. It really is. Learned something today about earning FXRP from providing collateral. Didn't know it. Auntie Val's in the building. What's going on, Auntie Val? How are you? Still learning, but why don't I see any rewards after adding collateral last night? And hello, by the way. Hello. Make sure you just refresh. Lawrence Williams in the building. Judge Torres dealt a crushing blow to Ripple and XRP today. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be delayed to 2 to 4 weeks, I guess. It felt like, I read through that, it felt like she was a little, I don't know, perturbed, pissed, upset. You know, kind of felt that way. Peter's in the building. What's going on, Peter? How are you, bro? Check to see the stats of your pool. It will tell you how many mints have happened and your percentage of the pool. My guess is your percentage of the pool is small, so very small rewards. Yeah. I think you're talking to Auntie Val, yes? He had most of that from before. Lawrence Williams says, it definitely will be delayed. Thanks, bro, for your commitment to the community. You're welcome, sir. Appreciate you checking in, Lawrence. Yeah, Auntie Val says, not a death blow that I can see, but it seems like the judge is pissed. That's what it felt like to me from reading that. It just felt like, really? I mean, she's not pissed at Ripple. Really, the SEC is the one who did all that nonsense. The judge is pissed that we went through almost 5 years and now the SEC wants to unwind. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be a little pissed too, says Auntie Val. Yep. That is exactly it. That's all-time earnings. Yeah, it's gonna take some getting used to, Peter, to look over this thing. Let me share the screen again. Let's go back to this. It's gonna take some, yeah, lifetime earned. You can see that right there. Lifetime earned. Lifetime earned 22 cents. No Doge or FXRP. As far as I know, maybe I don't know if this is the same thing. So FXRP lifetime earned, it says 22 cents. F Doge, I'm sorry, nothing, right? Because I didn't meant F Doge. I only meant it FXRP. And now that we've given it a minute, now we see both the people that we provided collateral, Atlas and Nordso, where we provided collateral. Okay. So that's good to see. The community pools where you added Songbird collateral is up there. 30,000 transactions. Number of deposits, withdrawals, and claims 30K. So and go to home here. So this is a pretty good, pretty good UI here. You know, pretty good UI UX experience here, I think. Number of agent vaults, 13. So yeah, there that is. You'll get used to it, I'm sure, after playing around with it. I know a lot of people in the Songbird community, especially, they haven't left this. They've been in this thing, once a week, maybe even every other day in here. I had not been. I had not been just adding, messing around here. I only did it the one time when I was trying to mint. The one series I was trying to mint. I mean, I did it several times trying to do it, but so there it is, fam. I wanted to share that with you guys. That's a major number, man. 500,000 FXRP is I mean, it's major. The FXXV 1.1 rollout on Songbird spoke volumes. We just saw what scaling looks like. Almost 500,000 FXRP minted in under 24 hours with zero incentives for minting or redeeming, right? Now imagine this on Flare and mainnet. Uncapped minting, full composability, a growing suite of DeFi products like swapping, lending, staking, trading perpetuals, all on a rapidly expanding DeFi ecosystem that just saw 185% TVL growth in under a month. In under a month. That's pretty good. So listen, real quick. Let's get real for just a second. If there's 500,000 XRP can be minted on Songbird in 24 hours with zero incentives, what do you think we'll see when this hits mainnet with full DeFi composability? Right? Drop a number in the chat. How much XRP ends up locked on Flare then? Let me know what you think. That's big time numbers. That's big time numbers, guys. Big time numbers. Right? Big time numbers. Let me see what else I want to share with you guys. I got saved up. Yeah, I read that. Rick says now they got to do a little bit more work. Like she's like, man, I came up in here. I put some work in here, and now you guys want to, go back on it. It's kind of crazy. But it is Talk Thursday, so I want to share something with you guys, just for some food for thought as we end the live stream here on Talk Thursdays. It's the reason why we're starting the Old Money Doesn't Want You to Win movement. It's the reason why we put together this merch, because the vast majority of people don't understand the hoodwink and bamboozle, and collectively we can spread that word, get people educated about what's really going on. All right, so let me find it. And I'm gonna share this with you just as some food for thought, some food for thought. I appreciate you guys hopping in. This is going to be a little, it's going to hit you in the gut a little bit, but I want to Talk Thursday. We have to have real talk. Okay, all right. So I found it there. Let me share.
There is no federal agency that has stockholders. What's a stockholder? A share of stock represents a percentage of ownership in a corporation.
Let me do this first, and then I'll change it. The decrease in purchasing power incurred by holders of money due to inflation imparts gains to the issuers of money. Let me read that again. The decrease in purchasing power incurred by holders of money due to inflation imparts the gains to the issuers of money. You ever think about why 2%? Why not 3%? Why 2%? You ever figure out like why 1%? Why any? You ever hear Jerome Powell's answer to 2%? He just says historically that's what other G7 nations have done. It's not a formula to the 2%. It's just historically that's what we've done. That's the answer to inflation. All right, let's take a listen to this.
Gains issue. This is a fraud. It is a pyramid scheme. It is a Ponzi scheme. It's a scam and it's a lie. Our entire monetary system is nothing but a form of legalized theft. But here's the biggest con job of them all. The Federal Reserve is not federal. It has stockholders. There is no federal agency that has stockholders. What's a stockholder? A share of stock represents a percentage of ownership in a corporation. So the stockholders are the owners of that corporation. Therefore, the Federal Reserve is a private corporation with owners.
The Federal Reserve is a private corporation with owners. And the world, this is important to understand. The world, however many months, for however many years they've been around, the world sits there in anticipation for what these owners of this private corporation are going to do. And they get to set the policy for the world. And this is a private corporation with private owners. You ever think about that? I don't know if we just become numb to this and it's, the dude said it's a lie, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's the biggest con, and the biggest con job. First of all, he said the monetary system as a whole is a lie, a scheme, and the biggest Ponzi scheme, the Ponzi ever created. And the biggest con job ever perpetuated onto American people and the world is the creation of the Federal Reserve. This is why I wear the merch. This is why I started the Old Money Doesn't Want You to Win. That's why I did it. Got to wake people up to what's really going on. Because there's a little stat out here that I think it's 86 to 96% of people don't think they should own Bitcoin digital assets, period. That they're better off owning some traditional TradFi product. It is alarming, Auntie Val. It's alarming that people still think that way.
And you can see it. So if you go to the Federal Reserve's website, and it will say the stockholders receive an annual dividend of 6%.
The stockholders of this private company, the Federal Reserve, is a private corporation. And the stockholders earn an annual 6% based upon things like this inflation thing that they set up. Remember the issues of the money. The holders are being hoodwinked and bamboozled. The people who issue it, which is the Federal Reserve, which is a private company with shareholders. And I think you're going to hear later in this video, you can't find out who the shareholders are. You can't find it out. Let me full screen this for you guys so you can see that. It says, after all necessary expenses of a Federal Reserve Bank have been paid or provided for, the stockholders of the bank shall be entitled to receive an annual dividend of 6% paid in capital stock. This is under the Federal Reserve Act.
Now, we know that the stock, the Federal Reserve, was originally issued to the largest banks in the United States. But because of mergers and acquisitions through the years, you can't actually trace who owns the stock in the Federal Reserve. That's a very closely guarded secret. My guess would be that the owners are those primary dealers, the banks who get to make a profit by selling part of our national debt, those bonds, to the Federal Reserve, who buys them with a check for nothing. Then we pay tax to pay the principal and the interest on those bonds, so that the Federal Reserve can pay the banks a 6% dividend. Don't be alarmed if you don't quite comprehend the deception of the system at first glance. Very few people do. It is purposely complex.
Mm-hmm.
The economist John Maynard Keynes once wrote, "By this means, government may secretly and unobserved confiscate the wealth of the people, and not one man in a million will detect the theft." I believe that presenting correctly, anyone can understand this system, regardless of how complex it is. So let's do a recap and break it down even more. The way the system works is that step one, the government creates glorified IOUs. These bonds increase our national debt and put the public on the hook to pay it back. Step two, IOUs are swapped to create currency. The Treasury sells the bonds to the banks. The banks then turn around and sell our national debt at a profit to the Federal Reserve, which they probably own. The Federal Reserve then opens its checkbook that doesn't have a penny in it and buys those IOUs with IOUs that it writes.
The biggest hoodwink bamboozle ever perpetuated, not just on the American people. Remember, the world, because the United States capital market, et cetera, the reserve dollar, all that other stuff, is that the BEC is beholden to this. They're the number one central bank. And the government is the one who starts the process. The government creates the glorified IOUs. And this little hookup, this little partnership government and the banks started with a need to fund the war. And then the government, it's Congress, I think they went away, they were out, whatever, and the banks legally put something in there and they changed it from the government and the banks to the banks and the government. Legally did it. Yep. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Checks on a checking account that has a zero balance. Then they give those checks to the banks and currency just springs into existence. And then the whole process repeats. This results in a buildup of bonds at the Federal Reserve and currency at the Treasury, which is really just a supply of numbers. The Treasury then deposits the numbers in the various branches of the government, and we get to step three. The government spends the numbers on promises, public works, social programs, and war. Then the government employees, contractors, and soldiers deposit their pay into the banks, and we get to step four, where the banks multiply the numbers by magically inventing more IOUs through fractional reserve lending, where they steal a portion of everyone's deposit and lend it out. That currency gets redeposited, and then a portion is stolen again. And the process repeats over and over, magnifying the currency supply exponentially. Then we work for some of it. At 5, where our numbers are taxed. We pay tax to the IRS, who then turns our numbers over to the Treasury, so the Treasury can pay the principal plus the interest on bonds that were purchased by the Federal Reserve with a check from nothing. Then we get to step 6, the debt ceiling delusion. The system is designed to require ever-increasing levels of debt and will eventually collapse under its own weight because politicians always kick the can down the road. They don't want it to collapse on their watch. And finally, step 7, the secret owners take their cut. The world's largest banks own the Federal Reserve. Those banks make a profit selling our national debt to the Fed. They make a profit when the Fed pays them interest on the reserves held at the Fed, and the Fed pays them a 6% dividend on their ownership of the Fed. This system is fundamentally evil. It funnels wealth from the working population to the government and the banking sector. Booms and busts of modern economies, and it causes great disparity of wealth between the rich and the working class. And it is only possible because we no longer use real money, we use currency. But worst of all, it is a form of enslavement. Bond is the root word of bondage. Whenever a government issues a bond, it is a promise to make us pay tax in the future. Nobody asked you if you wanted to pay tax today for the prosperity we all enjoyed in the last century. Nobody is asking our children if they want to work hard in the future to pay for the prosperity we're enjoying now. George Washington once wrote to James Madison, "No generation has the right to contract debts greater that can be paid off during the course of its own existence." By stealing prosperity for tomorrow so we can spend it today, we enslave ourselves and future generations. Now, this all sounds pretty bad, but there is great hope. For you are the greatest threat to this false monetary system. This system relies on the public being ignorant of its workings. Please share this knowledge with everyone you know, because an informed public that fully understands the system can build a better future for generations to come. And now I leave you with this quote, widely attributed to a former director of the Bank of England. The modern banking system manufactures money out of nothing. The process is perhaps the most astounding piece of sleight of hand that was ever invented. Banking was conceived in inequity and born in sin. Bankers own the earth. Take it away from them, but leave them the power to create money and control credit, and with the flick of a pen, they will create enough money to buy it back again. But if you want to continue as the slaves of bankers and pay the cost of your own slavery, let them continue to create money and to control credit. This is the Federal Reserve in Washington, D.C.
By the way, that was from a director at the Federal Reserve Bank of England, or there's the Bank of England, which is their central bank.
Located on Constitution Street, and that is just as much of a joke as the New York Fed being located on Liberty Street. And they transfer wealth away from us every second of every day to the Federal Reserve, to the government, and to the banking sector. You are now among the 100 million who detect your prosperity. So the big question is, what can you do about it? 1. Watch this video so you can describe and teach it to others. Those who understand this system can make preparations for its unavoidable collapse and protect themselves. History shows that those who don't will probably be wiped out. 2. Share this video with everyone, especially those you care about. All it takes is a mouse click or two to get this message in front of millions. Post this video on Facebook, tweet it, email it to loved ones. Please share it wherever you can. 3. Join the conversation. The current world monetary system is based on a 300-year-old design meant to enrich a few at the expense of the many. There must be a better way. At hiddensecretsofmoney.com, we've created an open source platform for the design and development of a new world monetary system. We're calling on every economist, every student, every college, every bright mind, and anyone who cares to join the discussion. In educating ourselves and each other, we can prevent the further loss of our freedoms and maybe, just maybe, win some of them back. Now you can.
So anyway, yeah, wanted to share that with you guys. I know it was really, and I thought I knew a little something, but you guys could not hear that. That was a little, let me leave the link for you guys so you can check that out. Set up professional audio. What the world? Let's see.
Aims to issue this.
Let me get this for you guys so you can have it. Yeah, it's alarming. It's alarming when you hear it. It's really, really alarming. And the most important thing I think is like when you sit back and just listen to it, you'll be like, makes sense. Like it all makes sense. It all makes sense, right? Because doesn't it just, again, I always tell this story, Peter. I always tell this story back in my air traffic controller days. I remember there was a time, it was me and my boys, we were just kind of hanging out, we were talking at the facility. And I remember, I was actually working, we were, doing our job, whatever, and a little lull in the moment. And I remember one of them saying, I don't know if it was the guy on my left or the guy on my right, I can't remember. But I remember him saying, he was saying like, I'm making, like 145,000 way back yonder when we used to work. He was saying this, and he said it felt like I was making like 86,000, 88,000. I remember him saying that. And I remember thinking, yeah, it does kind of. I was making more than him. He was a kind of fairly younger. But the point is still the same, right? The point is still the same because it's just always like there's a reason why it feels like that. And it is a system designed for the wealthy to steal from the poor. Well, not the poor, from everyone else who's not the bankers. The system's set up that way. Yep, that's the night, Devon, Steve. Devon, you're on it, bro. It says, wasn't it all changed the night that the government all went home for Christmas, leaving about a half a dozen around to vote? Yes, sir. That's it. That was it. Yep. You got to, and again, you still have to go back to, the creature from Jekyll Island, the day they met and created that system. It all started there. And you got to think about the people who were there, right? But when you hear that truth, it is alarming. That's right. Rick says now, it says, remember, CJ, they left out from the Bill of Rights. We do not have a right to control or own our own money. That was left out. Yeah. You got a right to bear arms, right to religion, right to free speech, but you cannot control your money. And that was in the Bill of Rights, right? So maybe that's in the Bill of Rights, but remember the bamboozle. I mean, Washington, the folks back then understood the real deal. We did not have to go to this system, this currency fiat dollar system. We didn't have to do it. It was a job. It was a deliberate con job. Goose, when did they update the site? Goose is saying Flare website updated. No rewards for, well, we know about the no rewards for minting and redeeming. And for Songbird collateral, only RFLR rewards. The FXRP rewards for Songbird collateral are removed. Huh. Mine's is still there. Mine's still showing. So remember, that's the hoodwink and the bamboozle. Intentionally, didn't have to be done. Peter Summer says, at least George Carlin, the stand-up comedian, at least makes you laugh while describing this. Yeah. Yeah, that's the video we just watched from the Hidden Secrets of Money, Devon, Steve. That's the one we just watched. I wonder if they're still kind of in operation. I would imagine that they are. But again, I bring it back to the digital asset space and what they're saying about Bitcoin. And it's not necessarily the asset, it's the monetary policy. I guess it's now gold, silver. All right. All right, goldsilver.com, hidden secrets of money, understanding currency in the modern economy, same dude. Yeah, it's pretty old. Financial literacy. Got some free stuff there as well, right? So, portable, durable, divisible, fundable, currency versus money. Yeah. So definitely, a gold bug guy. But in any case, the idea of educating yourself about it is important. Educating yourself on the real deal. This is why the digital asset space, in my opinion, is so important, because they're just they made the system very complex intentionally to confuse people. They get laws changed in their favor in the cover of darkness. They do these things. This is why the book like The Great Taking is out, for people to understand what has happened, and others, right? And so in addition to educating ourselves, I mean, once we know it, what are you doing then? Right? So obviously there's a fight to fight it, but how are you making it? How are you thriving? What are you doing to get ahead of this 12%, 11 to 12% hurdle rate, right? And the other part is, for me, is I ask myself, what system am I going to operate in? Am I going to judge my life by the prices and base my life on fiat dollars? Or am I going to do it based upon some other thing? A thing that was not thrust down my throat. A fiat or a form of money that wasn't thrust down my throat. Optional. A monetary policy that was not thrusted down my throat. Optional to choose to participate in that. A form of money that I can, think about this, I can custody myself. I don't have to be custodied in the banking discussion, in the banking system. Right? And think about this, since they couldn't beat us, now they're entering into it, and now they're asking you. So in addition to the fiat system, please come and deposit. Now they're getting into the digital asset things with stable coins and soon Bitcoin, and asking you to deposit. And my question to you is, what do you think is going to happen then? Like, what do you think is going to happen then? Remember, your local bank, regional, national, right? Remember, it's all behind the real shareholders are banks and owners of the largest banks in the world. Why don't you think they will take this thing and do the same thing, this asset? Unless we choose not to participate. How many got that word about Songbird here? I mean, Songbird, about Coinbase. You got those. Apparently, there's a message. Let me find it. There's some message, Coinbase, going around that Mr. Armstrong is claiming that they're being threatened. Let me see if I can't find it. It was from Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong. I'm trying to find that. Let's see where it might be. He's claiming that they've been attacked and they've been asked, been held kind of like on some ransomware thing. Where is that? I have it saved. Yeah, $20 million apparently, because there was a breach of information, personal information, but not a breach of private wallets. I mean, seed phrases and things like that, but a breach of information, address, phone number, whatever. This is how all these emails, et cetera, are coming out. And Brian Armstrong is saying he's addressing it in some kind of way. So let me see if I can find that. Where was that? Did you guys see that? I'm trying to think, where did I save it? I know I saved it. Hold on. Have you guys seen that? Let me see. Is it Brian? Brian Armstrong. Let's see if I can find it here on his thing. Yeah, here it is. Let me share this. I mean, take a listen to this. I don't know if you guys heard about this. Coinbase put this out, you know. I still believe Coinbase is just a TradFi player, a TradFi entity playing crypto. But anyway, Coinbase put this out 12 hours ago. Cyber criminals bribed, I try to tell people, cyber criminals bribed and recruited rogue overseas support agents to pull data on, they're saying, less than 1% of Coinbase's MTUs. No passwords, private keys, or funds were exposed. Private prime accounts are untouched. We will reimburse impacted customers. Well, that's what Coinbase is. They're gonna reimburse quote unquote impacted customers. And this is what I, Auntie Val, have been trying to tell people, and I'll get back to that in a second. This whole thing, I want to put my stuff with someone else because blah 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 blah. And I said, Peter Summers, I said, how do you think, what's that phrase called? SIM swaps happen. How do you think the SIM swaps happen where they get access to your phone stuff and then you can get hacked and you can get your crypto and stuff stolen? It's basically they go out and they bribe employees. The bad guys go out and bribe employees, offer them some money to give up information. And you never know when that will happen. You never know. Peter says, I'm hearing there was a $400 million hack. Like, you never know. Like, you don't know. The only thing, and here's the challenge, and here's the challenge, I believe, Devon, Steve, is people are so, let me give you a prime example. The Celsius thing, right? People turned over their stuff, right? And then one or two people did something they weren't supposed to do, whether that's playing in DeFi with depositors' money and then losing the trade. They lost it. Number one, you're playing with depositors' money. You're not supposed to be doing that. And you do it in DeFi and you lost. And then the head dude kept trying to fix it by taking more plays. And he had to take more of other people's stuff that didn't belong to him, that he wasn't supposed to do, try to catch up and never caught up. And then people who were supposed to be giving him stuff back didn't give him stuff back. I mean, it just cascaded, right? But in the end, it was someone who did something. An employee, not the employee. That's my understanding. It was an employee who did the initial thing, screwed up. I don't know if it was the head of DeFi person. I don't know. But it happened. Like my mentor says, everything is good, it's awesome until it isn't, right? But my point to that is I was in all these spaces, and you should have, heard the lack of personal accountability and blaming. The lack of personal responsibility, personal accountability. And I would submit to you that is more suffering than that is more suffering than going on vacation and losing your wallet at a resort and then calling the resort once you got back home in the States and you realize it was gone. And they tell you they couldn't find the wallet. Because it was your personal responsibility to take care of your wallet. And it sucks and it hurts. And you got it, you're getting back on a Saturday and everything's closed and you can't get a hold of the credit card people to stop the credit cards and whatever. But I would submit to you that is easier to deal with emotionally, mentally, than giving up your wallet and then having someone to blame and not taking personal accountability, responsibility. If the Federal Reserve banking system is a fraud, why do people believe that their money is FDIC insured? I'm just confused by that. Who made that up? Who came up with that? When the factual numbers is less than 1% of the positive funds is actually covered. Maybe it's right at 1%. That's the reality, the truth. Yeah. My personal experience is the suffering is worse having someone to blame. And then getting on the space after call, after Zoom, hoping that somehow you're going to be made whole because someone did something to you. As opposed to your self-custodying and I can't believe I clicked that thing. Or I can't believe I went to that site. Or I can't believe I entered my C phrase. It just feels like that's easier to own it and move on. It feels like it's easier to just own that and move on. I just feel like we're better for it. I got people promoting Uphold and let Uphold hold your stuff and Coinbase. And everyone thinks just because Coinbase is regulated, they're going to just save you. I don't buy it, but let's continue listening to this thing here. All right. Did I read it all? Yeah, I read that part down on the bottom. It says, we will reimburse impacted customers. That's what they're saying. But let's listen to Brian here. But I just want you to understand this. Cyber criminals bribed and recruited rogue overseas support agents. Do you understand what that is? This is employees at Coinbase. This can happen any time. This can happen anytime. You don't know who that employee is. I don't know. It might be a single mom of 3, might be just getting by. Like, you don't know who's going to take the bribe. And these guys, these criminals, they rely on numbers, and it doesn't hurt them if they go through 100 people to find one, or 200 to find one, or 500 to find one. Why do they care? They can do it all from the computer at home. This can happen anytime. At Uphold, at Coinbase custody, at Ripple's custody. And then the law, again, is not in favor of the individual. It is in favor of large institutions and companies, not you, the person who placed your assets with the company. The laws don't favor us. Let's take a listen.
Hey everyone, I want to make you aware of a disturbing email that we received recently at Coinbase. It was a ransom note demanding $20 million in Bitcoin in exchange for these attackers not releasing some information they claim to have obtained on our customers. Now, we like to do things transparently here at Coinbase, and so I'm going to respond publicly to these attackers by saying, no, we are not going to pay your ransom. In fact, I have a few next steps in mind that I'm going to share at the end of this video. But for the rest of you watching, wondering what happened, we did an investigation here, and these attackers have been approaching our overseas customer support agents, looking for a weak link, someone who would accept a bribe in exchange for sharing some customer information with them. Now, our support tools have limited access to customer information. There was no passwords or private keys or funds accessed as a part of this. But customer support agents do have access to personal information like name, date of birth, address, etc. And attackers still want access to this information because it allows them to conduct social engineering attacks where they can call our customers, impersonating Coinbase customer support, and try to trick them into sending their funds to the attacker. Now, unfortunately, they were able to find a few bad apples. Our systems are designed to mitigate the impact of something like this, so less than 1% of our monthly transacting users had their records accessed, but this is still unacceptable. And I want to tell you what we're doing about it. So first, any customers that were socially engineered as a result of this incident, we're going to reimburse them. There's more details on our website, on our blog posts about the reimbursement process. You can read more there. Any customers who have been impacted by this or have been notified at this point. Number two, we're hardening our systems around customer support to make something like this much more difficult in the future. And third, we're actually relocating some of our customer support operations as a result of this. But the last step is maybe the most important, which is that instead of paying this $20 million ransom, we're turning it around. And we're putting out a $20 million award for any information leading to the arrest and conviction of these attackers. For these would-be extortionists or anyone seeking to harm Coinbase customers, know that we will prosecute you and bring you to justice. And now you have my answer.
Well, good for you. Let's see if it works. Good for you. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you didn't get a chance to do so, no worries. Hitting the like button really helps to getting this channel out to more people who don't understand, that the system's been rigged against them. But there is an answer to it. And the answer is the digital asset space. And in my view, it is the ability to choose your own money, choose the monetary policy that comes along with it, and choose where you want to store your money, what you deem as money. All three of those things, choices that you get to make in the digital asset space. I hope you understand that you get to do that. So hitting the like button gets the channel out to more people so we can help them become more aware of the hoodwink and bamboozle that the bankers pulled on the United States government, thus the Federal Reserve Act, thus the Federal Reserve. So if you can get a chance to hit that like button, please do so on the way out. I'm going to wrap up this Talk That Talk Thursday with you guys. Hope it was valuable to you as well. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Stage, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying the Hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell since you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.